Welcome back, my friends, and thank you for tuning into the Fair Fight Wrestling Podcast. This is the Be Kind Rewind Classic Match Review, where we travel back in time and highlight the very best matches from the WWE Network. Today, we are going back to SummerSlam 1992, live from Wembley Stadium in London, England. The main event featured the famous Intercontinental Championship match between Bret Hart and the British Bulldog. You can find this classic match on the WWE Network at the 2-hour and 4-minute mark. So, what makes a classic match? Here at Fair Fight, we feel that a true classic must have 5 important elements: a solid story, the ability to evoke emotion, high drama, substantial stakes, and overall high quality in-ring match work. So let's talk about the story. The Hart Foundation, that wouldn't even become a physical faction for several years, was still predominantly featured on air. This was one of the very few babyface versus babyface bouts that Vince would allow back in the day, which shows the level of importance, especially given the fact that Bret and Bulldog were brother-in-laws. Rather than the typical love triangle, the female whose affection they were seeking was actually Bret's sister and Bulldog's wife, Diana. Family rivalries always make good TV, and this was a slow build that, wait for it, evoked great emotion. Neither of these guys went so far in their promos to bury one another in a typical heel fashion. Rather, they both had something to prove and would do whatever it took to be victorious, regardless of family ties. This match made you pick a side, and trust me, it wasn't easy. Bret was at the top of his game, and his popularity would not be overshined by the homecoming of the Bulldog in London. You didn't know who was going to win, you didn't know who to root for, but because this was the main event, you definitely knew it was going to be spectacular. Alright, let's talk about drama. Nowadays, drama is accomplished fairly easily with some well-placed false finishes. Now, the kickouts at 2 from the 90s don't look anything like they do today. Yet, Bret and Davey Boy were able to create a well-paced back-and-forth momentum with a tone in the air that you knew this could end at any second. Bret's aggression grew as the match peaked, showing almost a desperation to retain the title. The crowd even booed the Hitman at one point, showing their alliance to the challenger. Alright, now when you talk about stakes, it doesn't always have to be about the title. Think about Rock versus Hollywood Hogan or Bret Hart versus Stone Cold. Neither match had titles up for grabs, or a briefcase hanging on a chain, or a career on the line. It was all about pride. The Intercontinental Championship in this match was almost an afterthought given the family rivalry weighing in the air over the competitors. Having their hand raised at the end of the night overshadowed the prize of the Intercontinental title. Now, if you're looking for match quality, look no further. First off, I dare you to find a bad early 90s match from Bret Hart, and the Bulldog's powerhouse abilities were highlighted in this match as well. The momentum shifted back and forth between the challenger and champion, with both men kicking out and escaping defeat from the other's finishers. In the end, a surprise quick pin resulted in a huge pop and the beginning of a great title reign from Davey Boy. And of course, the handshake and family reunion at the end was a perfect ending for a tremendous match. Thank you so much for joining, my friends. Before we take off, one quick thing: we always have our weekly poll on a poll at Fair Fight Audio on Twitter. You can follow us there. This week's poll came to us from Raw. Who should be Brock Lesnar's first challenger? And Braun Strowman came out on top with 52% of your votes, followed by Finn Balor at 43%, a small fraction of you said Samoa Joe, and a resounding 0 for Roman Reigns. Thank you again for tuning in. Let me know what you thought of this classic match in the comments down below. Give us a like, subscribe to our YouTube channel, and check us out on Twitter and Facebook at Fair Fight Audio. Have a great week, and we will chat again soon.